The distress signal had been traveling through cold space for many weeks, bouncing from star to star, passing through dust clouds, and crossing borders between civilizations that rarely spoke to one another. It carried the same message again and again. A simple cry for help, a desperate one. A message sent by the Ledran Union, a group of peaceful worlds that had never been prepared for war and never wanted to be. The signal warned of a danger that was already too close, a danger that ate through planets and left people homeless or dead. Everyone in the Union believed the message would reach someone strong enough to help. They believed a great ally would answer. But as the days passed, the hope inside the council hall slowly faded. The Ledran Union was made up of gentle, tall beings with soft glowing skin and wide silver eyes. They were known for their art, science, and diplomacy, not for strength or fighting. Their worlds were warm, quiet, and safe. And they had forgotten long ago what it meant to fear an enemy. That made the arrival of the Marauder fleet even worse. The Marauders were creatures of metal and anger, a species that lived by taking from others. They destroyed colonies and stole whatever they wanted. When the Union realized how close the fleet had come, they sent the distress signal without hesitation. Inside the council hall, the leaders gathered around a glowing circular table. The air was heavy with silence. Many of them had not slept in days. Their faces were tense, their lights dim. Councillor Raleen, the one who had organized the distress signal, stared at the projection in front of her. It showed a map of the Union's border, and nearly every world near that border was marked in red. Another one had just fallen that morning. "We cannot hold them back," she said quietly. "If no one answers, then our people will fall." The others said nothing. They had already heard reports from survivors. They knew how quickly the Marauders spread. They knew their ships were too weak to fight. But even in the middle of fear, they waited. They believed someone strong would come, a great empire, a respected protector. Maybe the Seltari Collective or the Joruan Defense Fleet. Those names had always been powerful in the galaxy. Surely someone would come. But when the announcement finally arrived, it was nothing like what they expected. A guard rushed into the council hall and bowed. "A ship has entered orbit," he said. "It is responding to the distress call." Councillor Raleen stood at once. "Which empire does it belong to?" The guard hesitated. His eyes flickered nervously. "We are not sure. Its design is not in our records. It is small. Very small." The council hall filled with confused whispers. A small ship? That was not a good sign. Great powers never sent small ships. They sent fleets, glowing with power, carrying thousands of soldiers. A single ship meant nothing. Or worse, it meant the answer came from someone who did not understand the danger. Councillor Raleen took a breath and straightened her shoulders. "Prepare the landing bay," she said. "Whoever they are, we will welcome them." When the unknown ship landed, every Ledran watching felt confused. The ship looked rough and simple compared to the elegant silver vessels of the Union. Its armor was scratched, some parts looked repaired in a hurry. It did not look like a ship built by a great civilization. It looked like a ship built by desperate people. The ramp opened. A small group walked out, stepping into the bright light of the landing bay. Every face in the room turned toward them. They were humans. The Ledrans had heard that word before, but only in fragments. Humans were known as wanderers, explorers, and survivors. No one knew much about them. Some said they came from a dangerous world. Others said they were too unpredictable. Some even believed they were troublemakers. But no one had ever seen a human in person, on a Ledran world. At the front of the human group walked a man with calm, steady eyes. His name was Ryan Carter. His dark hair was cut short, and his simple gear hung lightly over his shoulders. Behind him walked Elena Brooks, a diplomatic officer with a warm expression but sharp attention. Two more humans followed them, carrying scanning devices and backpacks filled with tools. The Ledran officials froze. This was not the grand rescue team they imagined. These were only 4 people. 4 humans. Ryan stepped forward and gave a small nod. "We received your distress call," he said in a steady voice. "We came as fast as we could." The Legions exchanged confused looks. Counselor Raleen stepped closer and bowed politely. "We thank you," she said, "but we expected a larger force. Are there more ships coming?" Ryan shook his head. "No. Just us for now. IDB. 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 Just us for now." Silence spread across the landing bay. The Legions felt their hope fade again. This was not enough. 4 people could not save them. Not from a fleet. Elena saw their panic and offered a gentle smile. "We know this is not what you expected," she said. "But we can help. We have experience dealing with dangerous enemies." Counselor Raleen's voice trembled slightly. "Forgive me," she said. "But your ship is small, and your group is small. Our enemy is strong. They destroy entire planets. We do not know if we can trust in such a small response." Ryan did not seem offended. He had seen reactions like this before. "We understand," he said. "But humans don't ignore a call for help. If someone needs us, we come." The Legions saw honesty in his eyes, but they still felt unsure. As they walked from the landing bay toward the council hall, the Legion guards whispered quietly behind them. They scanned the humans again and again with their devices. Something strange appeared in every reading. Humans were unusual. Their bodies were dense and strong. Their bones were reinforced with minerals most species did not have. Their muscles were thicker than they appeared. Their immune systems reacted quickly to almost everything. Their reflexes were fast. Too fast. Their bodies showed high tolerance for stress, pain, and harsh environments. All of these things confused the Legion scientists. One scientist stopped walking and stared at the scanner in disbelief. "This cannot be right," she murmured. "Their bodies look like they were shaped on a deadly world." Elena laughed softly when she heard that. "It was," she said. "Earth is a tough place." That comment spread through the group like a spark. Humans came from a dangerous planet? Was that true? Many species came from calm, warm, peaceful environments, but a dangerous world meant storms, toxins, predators, volcanoes, and more. If humans came from such a place, then maybe they were stronger than they looked. Inside the council hall, the leaders prepared themselves. They hoped the humans had a plan, or at least something useful. They hoped for answers. The room dimmed as they entered. Ryan and Elena walked to the center, standing before the table. The counselors waited. Some looked nervous. Some looked doubtful. Counselor Raleen spoke first. "We are grateful for your arrival," she said slowly. "But we must be honest. We are not sure what you can do. The Marauder fleet is powerful. They have already taken several worlds. We fear they will reach our capital soon." Ryan nodded. "We know. We studied your signal. We also studied the enemy on our way here." Counselor Miro leaned forward. "Then tell us. Can you stop them?" For a moment, Ryan was silent. He seemed to choose his words with care. "We can try," he said finally. "Humans do not turn away from danger just because it is large. We come from a world where survival means facing danger every day. We have learned to fight, adapt, and endure. If we must stand in front of your enemy, we will." His voice was quiet, but his presence filled the room. The counselors felt something they did not expect. Not fear. Not doubt. Something different. Something steady. Elena stepped forward to speak as well. "We know we are only 4 people," she said. "But humans have faced many impossible things. We understand how to deal with threats that seem too strong. We understand how to win, even when hope is small." Counselor Raleen listened carefully. She still felt doubt, but now she also felt curiosity. "Then tell us," she said. "What do you need? What must we do to help you?" Ryan exchanged a look with Elena before answering. First, he said, we need to see everything you know about the enemy. Every record, every report, every scan. Humans cannot fight well unless we understand who we are fighting. The Ledrons nodded and activated the room's projection. Images of broken colonies, burning skies, and destroyed cities appeared in the air. Ryan watched them carefully, his face calm but serious. Elena took notes on a small device. The other humans scanned the data silently. The counselors waited for fear or shock to appear on their faces, but none came. The humans looked focused, confident, almost comfortable. That alone made the Ledrons nervous. After an hour of studying, Ryan finally spoke. We understand the enemy, he said. They rely on fear. They rely on force. They rely on numbers. But they are not perfect. They make mistakes. We can use those mistakes. There's numbers. Counselor Merrill looked at him in disbelief. You sound certain, he said. Are you telling us you believe you can stop them? Ryan's eyes were steady and clear. We believe we can try, he said. And we never give up trying. Ha! Counselor Raleen leaned back in her chair. For the first time in many days, she felt a small spark of hope. It was tiny, but it was real. Then we will trust you, she said. We will give you whatever you need. Ryan nodded. Thank you. The sooner we begin, the better. When the humans left the council hall to start planning, the counselors remained in silence. They watched the humans walk with calm steps, as if they were not afraid at all. Counselor Raleen finally spoke. I think, she said softly, that we may have called for help from the wrong kind of people. Counselor Merrill turned to her. Or perhaps, he said, we called the right ones. Outside, Ryan and Elena walked through the quiet corridors of the Capitol building. The Ledrons watched them with wide eyes full of uncertainty. They did not understand humans yet. They did not understand the power of a Deathworlder. But soon, they would. And when they finally saw what humans could do, they would never forget it. The humans spent the next morning in the council building, reviewing every detail of the Marauder fleet. Ryan and Elena moved between the projections and the reports, pointing to patterns, marking weak points, and asking questions that the Ledrons had never considered. The counselors watched quietly, unsure whether to be impressed or frightened. Every idea the humans suggested seemed risky, sometimes reckless, but somehow it also seemed possible. Elena tapped a section of the projection. These ships follow predictable paths, she said. If we can get between them and their command vessel, we can slow their advance. We can make them hesitate. A Ledron officer named Kyrath frowned. But that command vessel is heavily guarded. You cannot simply approach it. You would be destroyed before you even get close. Ryan smiled slightly. We are not planning a simple approach. We plan to move where they do not expect. Their strength is in numbers. Our strength is in surprise. The counselors exchanged uneasy glances. Surprise had not been part of their thinking. They were used to strong fleets, massive firepower, and clear strategies. These humans thought differently. They thought fast, acted quickly, and adapted to danger. Later, in a quieter room, the humans tested some of the Ledron equipment. Their hands moved quickly over panels and controls, adjusting, rewiring, and even improvising with parts that the Ledrons thought useless. The Ledrons could not follow what they were doing. They tried to watch every movement. But the humans worked in a strange rhythm. A rhythm of trial, error, and immediate correction. Elena noticed a nervous Ledron technician watching them. She smiled. Do not worry, she said softly. We are not breaking anything permanently. Humans are good at making old things useful. The technician blinked. How can such small beings do so much? He whispered. Ryan glanced at him. We do what we must. That is all. As the humans worked, they spoke quietly among themselves. Their voices were calm, but there was a sharpness to them. They discussed strategies, risks, and timing. Each idea was considered carefully. No one argued for glory. No one sought attention. They only discussed the best way to survive and win. By afternoon, the humans had created a rough plan. They would form a small strike team to infiltrate the Marauder flagship. Meanwhile, the Lydran fleet would engage the smaller ships, keeping them occupied. The humans explained that they needed flexibility, creativity, and the ability to act quickly. They did not ask for weapons or massive support. They asked for permission and access to information. Counselor Raleen could not hide her concern. "This plan is dangerous," she said. "You will face enemies far stronger than you, in a vessel full of hazards. You may not survive." Ryan looked at her calmly. "We know the risks. But humans do not leave those in danger. You called for help. We will answer, no matter the danger." Elena added, "We do not underestimate the enemy. We understand them, and we understand ourselves. That is why we can try." And Karath, the military commander, still doubted. "You are not equipped for such a mission. Your gear is minimal. Your numbers are few. You cannot win against such an enemy." Ryan turned to him. "We do not win by numbers or gear. We win by endurance, adaptation, and making every moment count. We are used to dangerous places, and we do not stop." The Lydrans struggled to understand. They had never faced danger like this themselves. Their worlds were safe, their lives quiet. How could 4 humans hope to defeat a fleet that had destroyed entire colonies? Yet, something in the humans' calm, determined faces made them pause. By evening, the council finally agreed to the plan. They would provide maps, intelligence, and access to the fleet, but the humans would lead the strike team themselves. The counselors knew it was a gamble, and fear still filled the room. But hope, small and fragile, had returned. The humans prepared quietly. Ryan checked the small ship, making sure every device worked. Elena organized supplies, ensuring they had what they needed for the mission. Their small team moved with efficiency and focus. Every movement had purpose. Every action was considered. Before departure, Ryan gathered the team. "We do not know what we will face inside the flagship," he said. "It will be dangerous. There will be traps, hazards, and enemies we cannot even imagine. But we do know one thing. We will survive, because we must. Fear will not stop us. Danger will not stop us. Only action will." Elena nodded. "Remember, we are not alone. The Lydran fleet will support us from outside. We move together. We succeed together." The team boarded their small shuttle, leaving the capital behind. As they passed through the city, the Lydrans watched in silence. The humans looked ordinary, unarmed, and fragile by their standards. Yet they carried something invisible, something strong, the will to act when others could not. The shuttle left orbit, moving toward the Marauder fleet. The stars stretched ahead in long lines, calm and cold. Inside, Ryan checked the controls. "We are close," he said. "Soon we will see if they are as strong as they believe." The other humans nodded. There was no fear in their faces. There was only focus. They studied the enemy fleet from a distance, noting patterns, timing, and movement. Every ship, every patrol, every firing sequence was memorized. Elena observed the scans. "They do not expect a small team," she said. "All their defenses are built to stop large attacks. That is our advantage. We will use it." The shuttle moved closer. The humans observed the Marauder flagship, a massive, dark vessel with jagged edges and glowing red lights. Its surface was scarred from battles, but it still radiated power. Every patrol ship around it moved in perfect formation. The humans did not flinch. Ryan studied the control panel. "We need to find the entrance," he said. "Somewhere they are not watching closely. Somewhere we can slip in unnoticed." Elena scanned the vessel. "There." she said, pointing to a maintenance hatch on the lower hull. It is not often used. It may lead inside. 100 146 piece. 146 piece. 146 piece. Ryan nodded. Good. That will be our entry. Once inside, we move carefully, avoiding detection. We disable key systems. We reach the command center. That is our goal. The humans prepared their equipment, checking tools, scanners, and defensive devices. Everything was small, light, and portable. They did not need heavy weapons. They needed speed, agility, and the ability to think fast. As they approached the flagship, Ryan gave a final reminder. Do not rush. Watch for traps. Do not engage unless necessary. Adapt to every situation. And remember, we survive because we refuse to fail. The shuttle docked near the maintenance hatch. The humans moved carefully, exiting one by one. Their movements were silent, deliberate, and efficient. The hatch closed behind them. They were inside the Marauder vessel. The corridors were dark and narrow, filled with sounds of machinery and distant voices. The humans advanced, scanning constantly. They avoided guards, bypassed security measures, and used every trick they knew. The Lydrans outside could not see what was happening, but every report they received showed progress. Ryan led the team through twists and turns. Elena followed, keeping track of their position. 2 others carried devices to disable power nodes and open doors. Every step was tense, but the humans moved with confidence. At one point, they reached a corridor filled with toxic gas. The humans paused. The gas could be deadly. Ryan adjusted his mask and moved forward. Stay close, he said. We move through together. We do not stop. They passed the gas and reached a section filled with unstable machinery. Sparks flew, and loud noises echoed. The humans navigated carefully, using timing and quick reflexes to avoid harm. The environment itself seemed designed to kill intruders. But the humans adapted. They survived. Finally, they reached a junction near the command center. Ryan paused and studied the area. This is the last stretch, he said. We move quickly, strike where we must, and reach the heart of their ship. Elena checked her devices. All systems disabled outside, she said. No alarms detected. The path is clear for now. Ryan nodded. Then let us finish what we came for. Deathworlders never stop. Deathworlders never retreat. We go forward. The team moved with precision, entering the final corridor. Every step was deliberate. Every sound was controlled. The air inside the flagship was tense, heavy with the smell of oil and metal, but the humans felt only focus. Fear existed only as a tool, sharpening their senses. They were 4 people inside a massive enemy ship, but they carried something far stronger than numbers or weapons. They carried determination, adaptability, and the will to survive. They carried the strength of a world that had shaped them in danger, teaching them to endure what others could not. And as they approached the command center, the humans did not hesitate. They moved forward, ready to face whatever awaited them. Outside, the Lydran fleet watched, tense and silent. They could not see what the humans were doing, but they could feel the shift. Something had changed. Hope, fragile and bright, had returned. The humans, small and seemingly ordinary, were turning the impossible into action, and the Marauders had no idea what was coming. The corridors inside the Marauder flagship felt endless. The air was thick with heat, metal, and the smell of burned circuits. Every corner could hide a patrol, every doorway a trap. Yet the humans moved steadily, their steps careful but confident. Ryan led the way, scanning for danger with sharp, quick eyes. Elena followed, carrying tools and monitoring their devices. The 2 others moved silently behind them, ready to act at a moment's notice. This ship is bigger than we thought, Elena whispered. It seems endless, Ryan nodded. It does. But size does not mean safety. They rely on strength, not skill. That is our advantage. The humans came to a junction where the hall split in 3 directions. Each path was lit with dim red lights, and the hum of machinery vibrated through the floor. They stopped to consider. Choosing the wrong path could lead them into the enemy's hands. "We take the middle," Ryan said. "It is less used, and patrols avoid it. We move quickly, quietly, and keep to the shadows." They moved down the hall, pressing close to the walls. The ship was alive with the sounds of movement. Mechanical doors opened and closed. Security drones hummed. Guards walked in pairs, scanning the corridors. Every step could reveal them. But the humans did not rush. Their eyes scanned constantly. Every movement was calculated. Every sound was anticipated. At one point, they reached a section where molten metal dripped from pipes above. The heat was intense. Sparks fell dangerously close. Ryan paused. "We need to time it," he said. "Watch the pattern of the drips. Move between them." The humans waited, counting silently. When a gap appeared, they sprinted through, sliding across the floor, ducking sparks, and avoiding the molten streams. They reached the other side without a scratch. The danger sharpened their focus, but it did not stop them. They continued down narrow passages, avoiding cameras and patrols, until they reached a large chamber. Inside, guards were repairing a control panel. Their backs turned. Ryan signaled the team to stop. He pulled a small device from his pack, one designed to emit a silent pulse that would knock out electronic systems temporarily. "Cover your ears," he whispered. The humans activated the device. A quiet hum filled the air, and the guards froze for a moment, then collapsed unconscious. The path was clear. Elena moved forward, opening a small panel to bypass the main door lock. Sparks flew from the mechanism as she worked, but the door clicked open. They slipped inside. The command center was massive, with screens lining the walls, showing the positions of ships, patrols, and planets under attack. A massive chair sat at the center, where the marauder warlord controlled his fleet. The humans froze for a moment, taking in the sight. This was the heart of the enemy's power. One wrong move could end everything. Ryan nodded. "We divide," he said quietly. "Elena, disable the communication and control systems. The rest of us will draw the warlord's attention if needed. Move fast. Stay sharp." 2. Elena moved to the consoles, her fingers flying over controls and panels. Sparks flew, circuits hummed, and slowly, the screens went dark. The ships outside were no longer controlled directly from this room. Panic would spread through the marauder fleet soon. The warlord entered the room. His armor was dark, jagged, and covered with spikes. His eyes glowed red. He raised a hand, and alarms began to sound. "Intruders," he roared. "You dare enter my command center?" Ryan stepped forward calmly. "We do not fear your alarms or your threats," he said. "We came because someone needed help." The warlord laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "4 small beings against my fleet?" he sneered. "You are nothing." Ryan shook his head. "We are not nothing. We are humans. And humans survive what others cannot. We are Tumen for Fifth. We are Pate Aced. Krzist. Ankan." The warlord attacked, swinging a massive energy blade. Ryan dodged, rolling across the floor. The others acted too, using quick movements and small devices to disable guards and machinery. Every move was precise, practiced, and deadly in its own way. Elena had disabled the main controls, but other systems began to react. Defense drones powered up, walls shifted, and floors opened in traps. The humans did not panic. They adapted. They jumped, ducked, and moved through hazards with a skill born of years surviving impossible worlds. One of the warlord's lieutenants appeared, a towering creature with claws and armor. Ryan faced it directly. He dodged the first strike, and used the lieutenant's momentum to push it into a support beam. It crashed to the floor, stunned. Another human used a device to lock the doors, preventing reinforcements from entering. The warlord roared in frustration. "You cannot survive this," he shouted. Ryan advanced steadily. "We survive because we act. We survive because we do not stop. You cannot break that." The warlord swung again, but Ryan dodged, moving with speed and precision. He knew the attack patterns now, learned them in moments. With a final leap, he used the environment against the warlord, knocking him into the consoles. Sparks flew, screens shattered. The warlord stumbled, giving Ryan the moment he needed to activate a small device that emitted a powerful pulse, disabling the warlord's armor and weapons temporarily. Elena shouted, "Systems are down. Now or never." The humans moved together, pressing the advantage. The warlord tried to recover, but the humans were fast, coordinated, and unpredictable. They struck at critical points, using knowledge, speed, and cunning rather than brute strength. The warlord finally fell back, defeated, though still alive. Outside, the Lydran fleet noticed the sudden change. The marauder ships were now uncoordinated, their movements chaotic. The humans' actions had disrupted their fleet. Union ships attacked strategically. Taking advantage of the disorder, inside the flagship, the humans pressed forward. They secured the command center, ensuring the warlord could not regain control. They activated emergency systems to send alerts to the other marauder ships, confusing them further. Every move was calculated to minimize risk and maximize impact. After securing the room, Ryan contacted the Lydran fleet. "Control is stable," he said. "We have neutralized their command. The fleet will now be easier to manage." Elena added, "The systems are down, and their ships are moving without orders. You can take control now." 9. Lena. Elena. Lena. 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 Elena. 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 The Lydran fleet moved with precision, pushing back the marauders. Slowly but surely, the tide of the battle changed. Worlds that were under attack began to see relief as marauder ships retreated or were destroyed. The humans did not rest. They moved through the ship, ensuring every important system was disabled and that no hidden traps remained. They worked quietly, efficiently, with focus and determination. Finally, after hours of work, they gathered in the command center. The warlord was restrained, his armor damaged, and his fleet in disarray. The humans looked around at each other, tired but not broken. Ryan spoke first. "It is done. The threat is contained." Elena smiled. "We survived. We completed what we came to do." The Lydrans arrived shortly afterward. They looked at the humans with awe and disbelief. 4 small beings had entered the heart of the enemy's ship, faced the most dangerous leader they had ever known, and survived. More than survival, they had turned the battle in the Union's favor. Counselor Raline stepped forward. "I cannot believe what I am seeing," she said. "We expected diplomats. We expected help. We did not expect this." Ryan shook his head. "We did not do this to impress. We did it because someone needed help. We do not ignore calls for help." Elena added, "Humans are like that. We face what others cannot. We adapt, we endure. That is all." The counselors were silent, realizing something important. Humans were not strong in the same way as the marauders or other empires. Their strength was endurance, intelligence, creativity, and the will to act. That was a power unlike any they had seen before. Outside, the remaining marauder ships retreated. The Union fleet stabilized the regions under attack. Communication returned to the colonies. Relief and hope spread across the worlds. The humans had changed everything. When the team returned to the Union capital, the council gathered once again. This time, there was no doubt, no hesitation. The humans were welcomed not as visitors, but as heroes. They had faced impossible danger and survived. They had shown that even a few could make a difference when skill, courage, and willpower were combined. Counselor Raleen spoke. We underestimated you. We thought 4 humans could not make a difference. We were wrong. You have saved us all. Ryan smiled gently. We did what anyone should do when others are in danger. We answered the call. Elena added, You do not have to remember our names or faces. Remember what we do. What humans do. We act when we are needed. The counselors looked at the humans with a new understanding. They had thought help meant numbers, weapons, and technology. They now realized it could also mean courage, determination, and the refusal to fail. The humans left the council hall quietly. They had completed their mission. They did not need glory. They did not need reward. They had answered a call for help, and that was enough. And the Leadrons, and perhaps the galaxy, would never forget the day 4 humans from a death world arrived and turned the impossible into victory. The galaxy had called for help, and the Deathworlders had answered.